Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Money and Marriage Made Simple. I'm your host, Tina Bunn, and I'm here to help you improve your money and your marriage. I'm a financial coach, and my husband and I paid off all of our debt 5 years ago, and I can't wait to help you do the same. Before we get started, I want to ask you to quickly click that follow button if you're listening and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. This is a young show and every follow helps get the show out to more people. Okay, let's jump in. I want to say something that might sound dramatic, but I mean it with everything in me. Your budget is not just a financial document. It is a marriage foundation. The way you and your partner handle money together, whether it's chaotic or connected, whether it causes fights or builds trust, that shapes the entire emotional climate in your home and in your relationship. I've seen it over and over again. When couples finally get their budget working, they don't just improve their finances, they improve everything. Their relationship improves, their mental health improves because they have this weight lifted, because they're finally in control of their money. They know where it's going. They know what's coming in. So today I want to show you what that looks like. And then I want to tell you about something that I've built to help you get there. A cohesive budget is one of the most powerful tools for a healthy marriage. By the end of this episode, you'll understand why and know exactly what to do next. I have something to share with you at the end of this episode that I am really excited about. So stay with me till the end. Before Zach and I had a cohesive working budget, we lived with constant nagging tension about money. It showed up in unexpected ways, and we really didn't realize how much it was affecting our daily lives. We were both carrying the heavy weight of money stress on our shoulders, and it caused extremely short tempers to the point that we were fighting about things that had nothing to do with money. There was emotional distance because we avoided talking about certain things, knowing it could end up in a talk about money and an argument. We related to each other in such negative ways because money was a source of shame and guilt instead of a shared plan. When I finally swallowed my pride and let Zach create our first budget, everything changed. I didn't want any part of it at first, but I did agree to follow it. I had no idea the amount of weight that would be lifted when I started using the budget. I finally felt in control of our money instead of always reacting to the endless bills coming at us. The budget opened up an avenue for us to talk about money in a productive way. We were finally on the same page, working together, and we were finally comfortable talking about money. Instead of avoiding money talks completely, we began talking about money all the time. At the dinner table, we talked about the paycheck coming in that week and what debt I planned to pay. We talked about saving for vacations and how much we could save each month. We went from never talking about money to talking about every little thing all the time, but in a healthy and productive way. We were finally comfortable talking about money, and it had nothing to do with the numbers. The pressure of each conversation had been removed. We stopped bracing ourselves for every conversation because it became just a normal part of everyday life. We weren't perfect by any means, but we were consistent and we were determined. The budget didn't save our marriage, but it did give us room to breathe so that we could work on everything else. I worked with a couple recently that had such different money personalities. They were struggling to talk about money at all. They knew it would affect other parts of their relationship if they didn't figure out how to get aligned. The surface of the problem they were facing was crushing debt and fighting about money. What was really going on was one person carried all the financial anxiety alone, and the other felt shut out and controlled. Neither of them knew how to enter the conversation without it becoming a big standoff. They needed to get on the same page. In their coaching, I helped them build their first budget. When they began using their budget, they felt immediate relief. Not only did they finally feel in control of their money, but they finally felt like they had common ground. The budget gave them a system with a shared language and a shared rhythm with their money. I knew they were making real progress when they had a money disagreement during one of their coaching sessions. There was some short-lived tension, but they quickly discussed their different opinions and figured out how to come to a compromise. It was miles from where they started. This couple didn't need more income. They needed a system that made them feel like partners. And that's what a good budget does. So let's talk about what a marriage budget actually looks like. Let's reframe the budget from a financial tool to a relational tool. Here's some things that a working cohesive budget does for a marriage. It eliminates the money bully in the room. When there's no budget, money becomes this invisible force that controls everything. It becomes the bully, and it's controlling your life and your relationship. A budget makes the money serve you because you tell it where to go instead of wondering where it went. That anxiety drops when you have a plan, even if it's an imperfect plan. It creates a shared language. Couples who budget together develop a shorthand, things like sinking fund, fun money, debt snowball. This is a shared language which becomes a shared framework, and that gives you fewer misunderstandings. You're literally building vocabulary for your marriage around money. It makes the future feel possible. Couples in financial chaos don't plan ahead. They're just working to survive the month or the week or to the next paycheck, sometimes even the day. A budget reopens that future. You've got vacation funds, you've got house funds. It brings up the what do we actually want conversations. Vision returns when fear leaves, and that fear leaves when everything is out on the table and you make a plan. It builds trust. When both partners know the plan and agree to follow it, spending stops feeling like betrayal. You've already agreed on what you're going to be spending in the budget. So when you go to spend that money, there's no shame, there's no guilt, because it's already been decided and it's been decided together. That accountability becomes a partnership instead of policing and enforcing what you think should be done with your money. When you feel complete trust with your money, with your partner, that is one of the most intimate things in a marriage. Okay, I told you at the beginning of the episode that I had something to share with you. I have spent months building something for couples who are ready to stop surviving their finances and start building a life together with intention. It's called the 5-Day Budget Breakthrough Challenge. It's 5 days. It's real work, and it's a real outcome. By the end of the challenge, you and your partner will have a working budget. You'll build it together. It's going to be designed for your actual life, and it's going to be grounded in your shared values, not a template that you found on Pinterest. It's going to be your budget. We'll cover everything: how to look at your income honestly, how to assign every dollar before the month begins, how to have the money conversations that used to end in a fight, and how to actually stick to it this time. The challenge runs April 20th through the 26th, and the doors open on April 6th. That's this Sunday. If you've been listening to this podcast and thinking, I need this, this is me telling you, yes, you do. and this is the moment. I know you may be thinking you'll get to it eventually. I want to challenge you on that. Eventually comes at a cost. This is 5 days, a little hard work, and a partner who's willing to show up and try one more time. This is the thing I wish Zach and I had when we were sitting at that kitchen table, staring at all the numbers. I built it for you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I know how hard it is to face your finances, but I am proud of you for being here. The 5-day Budget Breakthrough Challenge opens April 6th. The link to enroll is in the show notes, so grab it right now while it's fresh. And if today's episode hit home, would you take 30 seconds and leave a review? It helps other couples find the podcast when they need it most. And with that, I will see you next time on Money and Marriage Made Simple. Or maybe I'll see you inside the challenge. Bye.